Again, as within, so without. You're reaching for this medallion. You're reaching for this treasure. Well, what if you are the treasure? What if you are the medallion? And what if you believe it? What then? Then you see the treasure outside of you. You can expand your horizons, your consciousness, your psyche, therefore expanding your environment. Right? So, I think that was pretty much that message for that. We have the vow here. I'm getting chills again. Wow. Whew. Holy cow. Wow, this is intense. Oh, the vow. And it's interesting, this is like three hands. I've described this card in another reading. I have a separate channeled messages playlist as well. Maybe check that out if you are looking for more of this style. And I do also do video readings sometimes. Just depends on the vibe. This is an ASMR style reading. So yeah, this is three hands. This is you, another, and spirit all coming together like we are victorious. We're holding each other up. This is a huge sense of community for some of you. Some of you really are relying heavily on a community in order to pull this through, whatever this is. For some of you, it's your faith. We have the white dove above, this purity, this. For some of you, there is a strong angelic presence around you. In fact, you know, you don't have to be super spiritual to have angels around you. And you don't have to be Christian either. They are celestial beings. Okay? Think about that. Celestial beings. So yeah, some of you do have a guardian angel that is guiding the way. And you have others around you to support you. Even if you think you don't. Look at all the ways that life has given back to you and be grateful for it. I don't say that to shame. Again, if you're looking at gratitude as something to look down on, why? If there's something that you feel like you haven't received from life, ask yourself why you haven't allowed yourself to believe it's possible. We circle back to that message. I'm getting a side message. Some of you came into this life with a vow to hold others up in the darkness. This hand is surrounded by black bursting light. And yeah, there's 9 dots or circles above the dove and above the outline of the black. Again, completion or graduating to completion. Nine is a very spiritual, holy number. You turned upside down and it's a 6, and then 6 represents success. So by graduating through this change, this alchemical process of transmuting these feelings and these thoughts into what you actually want for your life, you trust the process and you start seeing it co-create, right? Co-creating with the divine, co-creating with the universe, co-creating with others, as within, so without. You have to decide that you want to be a creator or a creatrix, right? And that is what I meant earlier by saying, you know, you feel worthy, not that it's a God complex, but that you acknowledge that every one of us has the power to co-create our reality. Every one of us has the power to manifest the life we want. And yes, there are always going to be outside external things that are happening that can get in the way, but usually that happens because the universe is helping you grow and expand through lessons and tests, and a lot of people don't like that, but it's all about determination and consistency. If you truly desire a different outcome and more possibilities, it starts with believing that you deserve that. And then other people notice a frequency change in you, and you start to emanate that in your external reality, and your external reality starts to shift. And then all of a sudden, you're given more opportunities. And this is where we circle back to the receptivity, being ready to catch your prize, right? You have to then be open to receive, to pull the energy through all the way. So the masculine action is scanning through your thoughts in this particular example, in this reading, is looking at all the ways that you have told yourself it isn't possible, and then transmuting that into things that can be possible. And then you start experimenting, take it like a science project. Look at it like, okay, I don't have any proof, this is a hypothesis, right? But I'm going to study my life. I'm going to pick it apart and I'm going to analyze it. This is a way you can use the positive traits of Virgo, right? A way that we can integrate the past into the present belief, which takes us to the future of knowing our faith is real. So if it's easier for you, if you are more left brain, right, more analytical, look at it from that perspective. And it is about being able to hold more than one perspective. Some people can't do that, and that's unfortunate. I believe, again, in the possibility of anything, right? So, and also I happen to be a ninth house Pisces sun sign, so it's natural for me to believe in the depths and the ethers and the expansion. Ninth house also is ruled by Sagittarius, right? Okay. And the original planet for Pisces before Neptune was Jupiter. So I'm very much emanating this energy right now, which is why I'm connecting with you, because you too have something within you, a seed, perhaps, or perhaps it's this medallion. You just need to give it a little polish to bring it out, right? Something about our frequencies match, otherwise you wouldn't be here, because I set strong intentions that these messages get to who they're supposed to, when they're supposed to, and that it makes sense, that there's clarity, that there's inspiration, that there's some form of healing that takes place, okay? And I am an emotional alchemist. I have done this process. It is something that I started 13 years ago, and it doesn't have to take that long for you. Some of you don't know how to speak on this. My throat chakra off and on has been trying to close, and that rules your voice, of course. It rules the way you speak, and again, to yourself or others. Some of you look at deep shame. Look at how you feel ashamed for how you think about yourself, and ask yourself, did somebody in your life, and again, if you need external counseling services to go through these feelings, I highly recommend it. I'm also an advocate, but I'm not a professional medical or mental health person. I have a disclaimer in the description box. But I do suggest talk therapy for people. And you don't have to get diagnosed, you don't have to get medication, you just get set up. It's emotional support. It's a way to process your emotions. And sometimes we need an outside party to help pull the inside out, right? And if you're not ready for that, that's okay. Just start by journaling, right? Maybe once a day, I would suggest whatever time of day is most comfortable for you. You feel the most in the flow, you have the most peace, and you can make time for it. If anybody drops a comment below saying, I don't have time because I have this, well, then you've already decided it's not possible. How about you look at that belief right there? Pluck it out. Why do you think you don't have time? Is it perhaps that you don't feel like other people value your time, and therefore you're constantly busy and doing things for other people? If that's so, then why aren't you giving yourself more time? Because people treat us how we show them to treat us. So if you're constantly going and you're constantly exhausted and you never ever take time for yourself, why is that? Are you more comfortable in uncomfortable situations? That's something to look at perhaps for a trauma from your past. Because oftentimes with trauma comes the inability to rest. And in order to receive, you have to learn to rest, which is why people recommend meditation, mindfulness practices, which, by the way, all this talk about going in deep and everything, that is all mindfulness practices, which I've been doing for 13 years. All right. I just channeled in 2 days ago with one of my own upgrades, we'll call it, spiritually, and I channeled in within 20 minutes 733 4 times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. And no, I didn't look at 4 different clocks that had it on. No, the number like that, because I work with synchronicities. It's part of being a psychic medium. I see them all the time. The angels and other beings communicate through synchronicities that I pick up on and divine with. So for some of you, look up angel number 733. That could be a potential goal for some of you. And that is ultimate spiritual mastery, okay? Numbers like 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, double numbers, those are mastery numbers. They're also mirroring numbers. So for some of you, you are mirroring someone else. Perhaps it's a mentor or an old friend or a family member or a partner or someone you haven't met yet. I'm hearing red string theory. I don't know a lot about that. That's just being channeled in. For some of you, that'll make sense. So you're definitely not on this path alone. Yet again, this card, the vow here, it has 3 hands around it. And it's like spirit and another, for some of you, are holding you up during this process. You're not alone, and you're about to fly. This dove is above these hands being held up, and I'm getting chills all over again. This dove has its wings wide open. It's flying high. It is ascending. This is the ascension process for some of you. This is the ascension process. For others of you, you are starting with releasing. And you may say, well, the year is almost over. What's the point? Well, why not? You can start small. You don't have to give yourself some huge grand plan and something that you could sabotage yourself with by not following through on. Just take one little thing. Back to that journal. Take one time a day. Look at your journal and go, what is one thought that is no longer serving me, or one thought that makes me uncomfortable, or one thought that I don't think is true to me, or one thought that I don't want to be true to me. Write it down. Start with that. At the end of the week, I want you to look at your journal every single day that you wrote these things down and look at all the thoughts that you just purged. And if you're comfortable and you can do this in a safe environment, burn that sheet of paper. Let it go. You don't have to hold on to it, but if you want to keep it, and if you want to remember your progress as you go forward, then do that. You can also take a picture of the paper and then burn it, and then you've got a log on your phone or whatever that you can keep, that you don't look at, you don't ruminate, because you've already let it go, right? But then you can track your progress, but you also follow it through with the action of incinerating. That is the transformative alchemical process, right? Metaphorically speaking, you're burning out what no longer serves you. Shedding, right? So you can ascend, so you can be lighter, so you can go higher and higher and higher. And this isn't about physical heights. Could be for some of you. Some of you could be climbing mountains for all I know. Be careful. Know what you're doing. Anyways. I'm sure you do if you are. But, you know, people be people, and so I have to say that. Please use your wise discernment on what you can handle. as you progress, you can switch up the exercise. So it's not always like you're not always down on yourself. You're not always doing the shadow work. It's about balance between the light and the shadows, right? This is how you come into alignment with yourself. So when you take the time to receive information about yourself and your feminine energy, which is by allowing yourself to read into your own energy, your own thoughts, your own feelings, and then you take it to the next level, and then you take action after that. After you've received, then you take action in this particular process, okay? How do you take action? Well, that would be the next step. And if you'd like more personal guidance, I do offer it. You can book with me. And I'm not going to give you more than that, because I just specifically told you all that this isn't about setting out this grand plan, because oftentimes when we create grand plans and we're starting from a very timid place, so to speak, that is a way that we self-sabotage. It's like, example, New Year's resolutions, and it's the perfect time for this message to come out, is we create these grand plans, right? And we say, oh, well, we have all year to achieve it. Therefore, it's not really a priority in our mind. It's just something that we might do. And it's kind of blown off in society like, oh, yeah, I said I was going to lose 30 pounds this year, and I lost 5, and then I gained 40. You know, something like that. And it's funny because it's socially acceptable, but really look at that. Like, you're telling yourself you don't deserve to follow through on something that you want. Therefore, telling yourself it's not possible, because it's socially acceptable to not believe in yourself. And what the heck is okay with that? Let me ask you. How is that okay? If we want to be supportive to our community and to ourselves, we have to be willing to give ourselves that support first. And that's not selfish, that's self-loving. I hope this message brought you some peace, brought you some good things to think about. Feel free to speak up in the comments. I know some of you do. If you have certain exercises you like to do or any journal prompts, please drop them in the comments. Share with the community. And I would love it if you subscribed. This is a small, slow-growing community, and it's because we're authentic here. We're not fake. I'm not doing this to make money, to succeed as a YouTube star. I'm here to give back to the collective as a healer, and I do intend to successfully profit, because I deserve to make money from my calling, but it's not my focus. I'm not going to be pumping out material every single day to be relevant in the algorithm. So for some of those that are out there that don't like that I don't share all the time, it's all right. It's okay. Spirit often works through me with the collective, and I do lead by example. So this last year for me was all about patience and learning how to actually be in the flow and to co-create my reality and to implement that belief. Everything I am teaching people about, I've personally gone through the process first. I'm not reciting things that other people are saying. I'm channeling, and I am calling also from my personal experience. So it is possible, and you're possible. Everything you want is possible. Thank you for being here. Until next time, this is Ellie, signing off. Bye, darlings.